Good day, welcome to GhMixMixx. My name, Kwasi, the son Bakon. This episode, or today, we're not going to have an interview. We're rather going to react to an interview. In my interview with Dr. John Asekwapon a couple weeks ago, I tried to highlight this disturbing phenomenon of certain people who are in positions of authority and respect and who should be speaking up against what is going on in the country or speaking up against government, rather taking the side of the government against the ordinary man who does not even understand the issues. And that is a problem, and that is the problem that we want to tackle on this episode of GhMixMixx. Did you see that interview on Joy FM?
In any country, it's not allowed to, go on a demonstration of, this nature and request.
This interview, I think, belies the fact that the media, which we consider the fourth estate, is in a very precarious spot, and we have to be careful what we do with what we call the fourth estate. The fourth estate is in place to check the other three estates, especially the presidential, right, or the executive. However, if the fourth estate turns around to be a tool for the same arm of the government that is supposed to check, that becomes a problem, not just for us, but for future generations. This is what I mean. Let us look closely at how this interview was conducted.
Well, so what's the concern of the Ghana Police Service? You have it on your screens right now. First of all, the police is indicating in the statement that the Accra Regional Police Command on Sunday, May 29, 2020, received the notice of intent to embark on a demonstration from a group of persons, including, and there you have it, Oketiche Frefa Mensa, we have Captain Godspring Smart, then we also have Benjamin Dako and Oliver Baka-Vormo himself, who is well famed for Fix the Country movement. Now, among other things, the group is indicating that the demonstrators intend to embark on a 3-day demonstration starting from the 4th of June, which is a very remarkable day we'll talk about later on, but also the demonstrators intend to contract a private security company to provide protection for demonstrators. But that's not all. We also know that the demonstrators are indicating that they would contract private security, and these persons will be armed with weapons as well. And then the armed demonstrators will picket the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and the Ghana Police headquarters. Now, we also know that at the GBC, they will demand to speak directly to the nation on the state broadcaster and then lay out the grievances that the group is having. And also, we know that the group, as been indicated by the police service, is requesting that that security arrangement be made available to them regardless of whatever provisions there are in the law. So the Ghana Police Service is indicating that it wants to assure the public that the police service is ready and willing to provide necessary protection for lawful demonstration in the country. However, in this case, the service is of the view that the nature and the character of demonstration as intended is inconsistent with the Public Order Act. Well, the Fix the Country group itself has been speaking on the matter. They've been addressing the press a while ago on why they're making these demands. We can listen to that address by Oketiche, who's one of the leading figures of the Fix the Country movement.
We did not trust the police. If the police is giving us their commitment that this time around they are going to be professional, that this time around they are going to give us the best of security as demanded of them, and not be shooting us, turning the guns that is meant to protect us as against us, then maybe we can go to the round table and have a discussion again. Until then, we are going to make sure we will protect our own self. Yakasa amsa, yoko sukuye amsa yetuongwa. What mean for biangura? What mean for bua engura? Eti ayabua paye, adiano aye choko mom, krata ni choko mom no. And some wom no mpesa Ghana for no ombedi achi aba. Omo cause disaffection. Munko kanchere Ghana for no se mrantia ne lawless. Munko kanchere Ghana for se mrantia ne ekuama mu future. Moko kanche Ghana for say nipa bone for na eteso ne no eye Machiavellian tactics. They will do anything possible to separate the Ghanaian populace from the leadership of fix the country, which we should not allow. Ye nyina ye mie ye ni ha ye ni na ye nte de ekoso na se. Medicine, I always say the reason this country is peaceful is not because we are a peaceful country. The reason this country is peaceful is not because of Christianity. The reason this country is peaceful is not because but it's simply because we do not understand what is going on around us. If we begin to understand that we vote for people to come and give us the social amenities like good roads, hospitals, but some hospital every now and then. The very moment you understand, say the roads for more than 10 years is because roads on the MPP chairman, the NDC chairman be every year be almost sponsor a year elections where some better moka. It was a road in nature, 1 year sika any bill. The very moment people begin to understand, say Kwame Nkrumah Nyansem were your motorway for 50 years. But some crofo buy a motorway and they say, instead see a boka iron no. They find a knee-jerk reaction to solving the problems. Sebi you say nipa ni nyati asiye ya, enya bro and ya babum penifone debut. So nipa ni ntiasiye. And over the years, the media that is supposed to be the watchdog for the people by putting the politicians on their toes, they have now become a guard dog for the politicians.
Well, excerpts of that press briefing was just done some hours ago, and that's one of the leading figures addressing the group there. But why June 4, and what's the implication for national security? Joining me now is Dr. Adam Bonna, a security analyst and expert, understands what's happening across the country, and he's joining us to help us with some analysis on this.
Now, Oketiche started right off the scratch by debunking the perception that has been associated with that and explaining why he and his compatriots put out that statement. He explained clearly that the Ghana police have shown signs of bias and signs of not being able to protect the citizenry. And it has become necessary, say, this is common sense. Before the interview took off, the host actually played excerpts of what Oketiche had said, and he explicitly explained why that statement was in there. He explicitly gave the if clause. If the Ghana police is prepared to give us that assurance, then there's no even question about that. Yet, the host found it necessary to hinge the whole discussion on that.
Doc, thank you for your time. So, first of all, the demand for private security on the day of the demonstration, is that justified, given the accounts that we're learning from the police statement?
Well, yes, good afternoon, blessed. It is not justified, and it cannot be justified anywhere in any country. It's not allowed to, go on a demonstration of, this nature and request that because you don't trust the state security apparatus, you are going to, contract your own private security and arm yourselves because you don't trust the security agencies. I find it very difficult to understand. But if you look at their demands, that has to, if you look at their demand, there are some legitimate concerns there. It is how they want to achieve it. That is a point of departure for me, and that is likely to throw this country into some, chaos. So as far as I'm concerned, the police's statement and the action the police is taking is okay for now, until such a time that they refine their proposal so that it's in tandem with the Public Order Act. I think the police should be firm and resolute and ensure that, it doesn't matter who you are. You might, if you have a legitimate concern, find a perfect way of doing it.
And that is the problem. Refine. Ghana is where we are because all we seek to do is refine. Political correctness is what is killing us. Refine. Refine what? Refine what? That's why people come and rush contemporary us all over the place. Because once we hear brofo or we hear some type of format in speaking, or we associate wisdom to that. That's why Ken Oforiatta can come and smile and wear white in our faces every day, and he's still Minister of Finance, and the country is in the state that it is in right now because we are trying to be refined. There's nothing to refine. The man spoke. He told you what he wants to say. There's nothing at all to refine. And if there was, he already explained to you, say, by what he said, he wasn't meaning armed resistance. He was just saying that the police should give the citizenry assurance, said they are not going to turn their guns on them. Is this too much to ask, Dr. Bonna?
Every country has its own peculiar and unique challenges. We are not different. And so as far as I'm concerned, I would say the police shouldn't allow them to go on such a demonstration. There are no private security companies in this country who are, Oketechie, I think, said, well, you could be armed with stones and, cudgels and, whatever, apart from firearms. But, those of us who have led demonstrations in the past will tell you that sometimes you are in front and you don't know what is going on, behind. And so they need to be very careful with their demands. I think even under South Africa, the apartheid regime, South Africans were not allowed to demonstrate with firearms and the kind of weapons they are looking for. To bring that down to Ghana, where we have been voting since 1992, to say things have gone so bad that you want to take over, you want to address the nation using GBC. What is the significance? Anyone who knows the significance of GBC will tell you, growing up, anytime you heard the national anthem played, it doesn't matter the time. We used to only have GBC. You started fearing for the West, and usually you would hear some rogue soldier telling the nation that they've taken over. Is there a declaration that they want to go and declare that they've taken over the nation? I don't know, but I think that the Fix the Country campaigners would have to come again.
So Dr. Adam Bonna acknowledges that they have legitimate concerns. He, however, does not even touch on those concerns at all for the rest of the interview. What are these legitimate concerns? Could it be that the demonstration would not even be necessary if these concerns are addressed? The learned doctor has nothing to say about that. One thing we forget is say, Ghana a country be our own. Okokoto wache krapo na sa oye doctor. Ye tika krato somawo. So wache run it is oye doctor, so oye book doctor, so oye buakete doctor, so oye den doctor. Wache run ibema okakraka ho. Fact, because we respect titles, we respect people who have achieved something, especially in the areas of academia. Like the doctors of today, like the Dr. Adam Bonna. And Adam Bonna said, think about the people whose taxpayers' money sent you to school. The cocoa farmer whose cocoa loans, whose cocoa money sent you to school. Think about those people who do not understand the issues and are counting on you to break it down for them. Now let's get down to the issues.
And I guess, Doc, that the date itself is quite remarkable. The fact that there's a lot that went on in terms of our political history. June 4, as we know it, represents something very critical, a landmark situation that happened in this country. So perhaps that could also be informing the perception that you're forming about the situation now.
Yeah, exactly. June 4th, I was there. June 4th, I was old enough to have seen June 4th and seen how many people died. Seen, what happened on that fateful day. I don't know how many of them, were born on that day. And so if they are purporting to want to celebrate June 4th, it's not a day, I would want to see, young people celebrate, because then people lost their parents. People literally just vanished under the surface of the earth in this country. And so mine is that they need to be very careful what they are calling for.
Dr. Bonna, we were all in Ghana during June 4th. We all did not like what happened. But wasimbi aye kan si se kukru ni jaya kekra ni bejaye. What you say? The son wasimbi si se bibi ankoka papa enje credit. What you say? So why don't you deal with the issue at the source? Why are you nervous about the date, June 4th, and the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation? Why are you nervous about that instead of dealing with the issues that are bringing the people out on the streets in the first place? Okiteche joins the conversation at this point, and I want you to pay close attention to what this gentleman says, okay? Because he is not the one that's carrying the title of doctor, but listen clearly, listen closely to what he says and how he handles the questions. By the way, he's a journalist, he's a presenter, so maybe that contributes to how he handles the question.
So you believe that this is not a good time to allow them to pour out onto the streets. But just hold on for me briefly. Okatiche himself is joining us via phone right now to explain their concerns to us. It's good to be talking to you at this time, sir. First of all, June 4, what's informing the selection of that date for your planned protest?
Thank you very much. June 4th is a day that we all can at least understand that it resonates with the people when it comes to cleansing of our democracy. Obviously, we've gotten to a point where we see that thieves have captured the state, using the power of the people to their own advantage, and for that matter, to remind us of the very things that actually led to the June 4th Revolution 1979. We needed to pick that date as a symbol that we, the youth of this nation, we are not going to sit down for certain people to use the people's power for their own advantage at the detriment of the masses. So it's just a symbol that you and I know. 1979, J.J. Rawlings got up, cleansed the system. We are not going to clean the system by using the barrel of the gun, but we simply wanted to remind ourselves of what happened due to the impunity with which the people are using the power of the people. That is why we chose the day June 4th. But unfortunately, as it stands now, it coincides with Yanananomo, the Ghana Traditional Council, their ban on drums and other stuff. So they have also pleaded that if we can change the date, they are willing to support in numbers, but we should just change the date for them. So we've reconsidered that, and we will communicate that to the police by close of day today, by putting it next week on the Friday, so it does not coincide with that of the Ghana traditional leader. Okay,
that's fair enough. But then are you also backing down on your demand to have private security protection on the day of the demonstration?
You see, the whole conversation about having a private security and having arms was our best way of bringing attention to the fact that the police service, which changed from force, that is supposed to protect the people, over the period with impunity, the level of impunity with which they use the force, the power of the people to abuse the people, killing them in Ejura, killing them in Nkwanza, killing them everywhere when they are going for demonstration. So it wasn't as if we actually believed that we are supposed to carry arms or we are supposed to hire a private security. But we wanted to highlight to the public the fact that the police that is supposed to protect us for a period now are killing the very people they are supposed to protect. So if the Ghana Police Service is assuring the people that this time around people can freely go for demonstrations without being killed, without being shot at, then what would be the need for us to carry arms and also have private security?
And if you ask me, Okiteche gave a brilliant answer, right? But right from there, he also started getting everybody to understand that it is not an armed resistance. You can hear it in so many aspects of what he says.
So we are saying that the Ghana Police Service, who is supposed to serve us, should stop killing innocent people when they decide to embark on demonstration. If they can give us that assurance, then we wouldn't even have a conversation about carrying arms and having private security and all that.
And some
this is a case where the Ghana Police Service actually wrote to us and told us that they cannot allow us to go for 3 days demonstration. We asked them, on the basis of what law are you saying you cannot allow us to go for 3 days demonstration? So right away, we cannot trust that the police can provide security for 3 days demonstration. They are saying they can do just 1 day. When they do the first day and they go away, who should be there to protect the citizenry? Obviously, it lies in our bosom to find security for the people that will come out in their numbers.
What is the job of the police? What is the job of the police? What really is the job of the police? So if citizens are protesting and you say you cannot protect them for one day, for more than one day, what is that? Okay, IGP Dampare, let me ask you a question. You are saying that you cannot control a protest for 3 days, a peaceful protest for that matter, for 3 days. Let me ask you, will you be able to control situations if things go awry for a week or more? Will you? If you can handle a violent protest, God forbid that, but if things go awry and you can handle that for beyond 3 days, then you should be able to handle a peaceful protest for 3 days. What are the Ghana police doing? What are they doing? If you're not going to be shooting and doing stuff around, then all you really got to do is to shepherd these people along the route that they're going to go on the protest. And you cannot do that for more than 1 day? Why? But if things go awry right now, we will see your people on the streets with all type of weapons trying to hold it down? Really? Come again, bro. Like, seriously. That is an unfortunate statement. If it didn't come from you, Dampare, go get your PRO to revise that statement. And also, Oketeche question you on the legality of that crapo. And him for crapo, if he saw the catch, will be said, a crusade for 1 week. Huh? The crusade for 1 week. This me all night for 1 month. 40 days fasting. Yet me gather together. Now yet me protest for 3 days. Based on what? Because we have freedom of association and freedom of whatever else. We have a right. So where does that come from? Say we cannot associate for more than 3 days. Revise that. And here, Oketeche, in my opinion, swaps roles with the doctor. Because he comes in with a common sense response. Everybody has the right to think and feel the way they do. The Constitution guarantees that. And Dr. Adam Bonna, you should know this.
Some experts are raising concerns already about that planned protest. Dr. Bonna is still on with us, for instance. He's talking about the fact that if indeed you want to relive the moments of June 4, this should not be the way you should be marking such an event.
Well, everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I respect his opinion. Even if I don't agree with the opinion, I would defend his right to say it.
He did not poo-poo what you said. He said, you have the right to feel, it's your right. You, however, as an academic, instead of respecting his rights, I will show you what he says when he gets there. And here you see the whole thing unfolding, okay? Because right now, they are trying to bait Oketeche into where they want him to be. And you all see where that heads in a minute. But for right now, listen to the question that he asks. The host subliminally asks the what next question. So question no, oh, what next? At any point, at any rate, your interviewer, what next? There's something about at the tail end though. Why what next at this point in the interview? But you know what that is? You know what that represents? Because they are trying to get Oketeche to claim a spot that they can later on build, what you call it, something around and say, hey, Onye.
This question keeps facing you as a movement. To what end are you pursuing this Fix the Country campaign? Because for some, it appears that you've peaked in terms of your demand. The whole country knows what your concerns are. It appears that we'll just have to wait to see what the leaders will do about the need to fix the country. So what's more in this new resurgence?
I think this is an uncharted course, okay? When we were going to the farm, you get to a point, you see that there's a thick forest, but you have to create a way to get to the next stage. So that what next, sometimes I don't even understand why people ask us, as if every movement that came about has to end up forming a political party or somehow. Look, there has been so many movements across the world which never ended up in political party. So if people are asking, I understand that they sometimes want to know if we are going to form a political party. As I sit here, I do not believe that the current situation we find ourselves in as a people, with the current constitution, any political party, third force can thrive. So I don't believe in that. I believe we must change the system that will give a direct representation of the people the appropriate chance to represent themselves without going through this political party system.
What next? You know, the moment Okiteche gives any signal, say, oh, they are interested in power, he has ticked one of the boxes of the extremism chart. Oh my, then that's what this question is about. It's a bait question. The moment he says anything at all to suggest, say, oh, I'm interested in power. Oh, okay, so he wants to move the government so that he fills the spot. Where your friend well dodged. Well dodged. What I say? I don't know if Okiteche knew what he was doing or not, but his answer steered clear of him ticking that box. What else do they have?
But some also argue that you are radicalizing the youth.
There you go. And watch the progression, right? Closely watch the progression. From baiting him with a what next question, and then now he says, oh, some say you are radicalizing the youth. Who said they are radicalizing the youth? Can you show me who said they are radicalizing the youth? I haven't heard anybody say they are radicalizing the youth. I heard people say they are speaking out for them. They are citizens of Ghana, by the way. Right? Let's have this discussion properly, because things have happened in other countries that we seem not to be learning anything from it. The journalists who are supposed to be the gatekeepers, the guard dogs, they seem not to have learned anything from other countries. Unfortunate incidents have happened, and they're just going down like pigs with rents in their noses, being led down by their paymasters out of whatever, or maybe they're just afraid. I understand. I understand if your livelihood depends on you just asking one question that's like and going home and pretending you never asked it. But just be careful, because some of these things, he says people say you are radicalizing the youth. But again, listen to his answer to him.
What is wrong with radicalizing? Marcus Garvey once said radical is a name given to anybody who endeavors to free the people from bondage. Jesus Christ was called radical. George Washington was called radical. Kwame Nkrumah was called radical. Robert Mugabe, Muammar Gaddafi, all these people were termed as radical. Even Nelson Mandela, who is well celebrated at some point in the history of this world, was classified as a terrorist.
And watch the progression of the terminology that he's using, right?
And when you look at what is happening now, the level of impunity with which they do the things they do, then you know that 1979 people were killed for less. If you look at the impunity with which this government, particular family, that is siphoning, using their state resources, state apparatus, creating special purpose vehicles, siphoning the monies and the resources of the people, taking it away from these people onto another country, then obviously people were killed for less. So when they say we are radicalizing, what are they afraid of?
But that's hate speech. I mean, you're basically inciting the populace against a group of persons who you don't share the same belief with.
What's it radicalizing? The next step, he says you are using hate speech. Bro, where is the hate speech in what he said? We all heard it. We all heard it. Where is the hate speech? Show me, because I don't see it. The man is saying that Ghana is in a state where some people are trying to sell away the heritage of future generations, and we are not going to let that happen. For that, we are not going to pick up arms, but we're going to pour out on the streets in a peaceful 3-day protest. It's a simple message. Where is the hate speech in that?
But just to wrap up with you, there's the concern about what would happen next Friday. You're spending 3 days on the streets? Is that what we're expecting?
We are spending 3 days on the street, forming a human barricade, protecting the Achimota forest And we are sending that as a signal to those misleaders we have currently, that under no circumstance would we sit down and allow any group of people that we've given our sovereign power to use that same sovereign power to impoverish the people and steal and capture the state from the people. We will not allow that. For that, we will not allow.
I hope it will be peaceful. That's all we are praying for, I guess.
Under no circumstance are we calling for chaos. And like I said, the only reason we placed that in our statement to the police was to tell the police, Jack, and we are not afraid to say that.
Doc, you heard the explanations from the group, the concern about how partial, quote unquote, this Ghana Police Service leadership is. It's increasingly becoming a concern for the group. Are they justified in the explanations they're giving us now?
Well, they are not justified, not at all. I mean, how justified can they be? I'm sure even under the current police dispensation, they fix the country campaigners have gone on demonstrations. Correct me if I'm wrong. How many of them were shot? How many of them were beaten with horse whips? I didn't see that. And so they are completely out of order.
After this gentleman has taken his time to lay out clearly what the message of the protesters are and has explained that aspect concerning the armed, security and all of that now, he comes right back to square one because he has a job to do. He's still here talking about all this nonsense. Now this Dr. Bonna is telling us, oh, have you seen people, have you seen the police shot? Hey, Dr. Bonna, into won't take Ghana happy. Won't take Ghana happy. When 8 people were shot during elections, no, won't take happy. Huh? Dr. Bonna, when Kaka was shot, won't take happy. And you, the host, you are there talking about hate speech. Hate speech, my backside. Hate speech, who tell Chrome Happy? And now tis a member of parliament, this a Yancho colleague. Na yam bono, no be chiaka. Uti habi, umubi, utibi. I didn't hear you speak about hate speech. Where is the hate speech in this one? And back to you, Dr. Bonna. You never saw Kaka, you never saw any of that. You never saw any of that. You never saw Ayawaso. You are not aware of the fact that you were paramilitary organization being run by the government inside Ghana. Won't see any of that.
I mean, I probably, like I said, most of the leaders of the Fixed campaign movement don't know how June 4th unfolded. I don't think they know. If they know how June 4th unfolded, and the fact that what June 4th, came, to do, literally, we didn't get that done. The country didn't, what did we achieve? Before June 4th, I mean, I grew up in Tema. We had all the factories in Tema. After June 4th, all the factories have been sold. Tell me, even in South Canary, was sold. And so for me, we have a challenge as a nation, but to any attempt to take us back to those days by people who probably didn't witness how June 4th unfolded, I find that very worrying, because then if you say you don't trust the police, therefore you are attempting to create a parallel, what do you call it, police organization. Which country does that? It doesn't happen anywhere.
Where did anyone say they are trying to create a parallel police organization? Where did anybody say that? If Okitechi has said that on another platform that I haven't heard, please point me to it. But I never heard the gentleman say that he or any of his compatriots are going to form a parallel police organization. They never said that. I've never heard anybody suggest that. And to Wankasa will say to our questions, that Wankasa will answer, because you came here to do a job. Who said they were going to form or form a parallel police organization? Then go and speak with the president himself. Go and speak with the government. Go and speak with the people who are running that organization that went to Ayawaso West Wogon. That a whole commission was set up on and nothing was heard about. Those are the people you should be worried about. not somebody who wants to protest. If
If you are going to have 3 days of continuous demonstration, you would be impeding on my rights. The fact that you are going to go on this demonstration 3 days, I don't know which streets you are going to use, but assuming for 3 days, I have to use a certain route, and I can't use it because you are demonstrating. Don't you think I have a right too?
Oh my God! See, Charlie, Akwawe, listen. One more time, before I say what I'm going to say, let me make a disclaimer. Dr. Adam Bonna, I am not taking anything away from your credibility as a doctor. Dr. Adam Bonna, I am not taking anything away from your credibility as a doctor. I'm not taking anything away from your pedigree as a doctor. I'm not taking anything away from your achievements as a doctor. But I have a problem with your thought processes. Because you are here saying, say, protesters will be impeding on your... That's the most reckless thing I've heard anybody with a title doctor say. To be very honest with you. Because, yeah, like, protesters now are more protesting against people selling away your heritage, no, for 3 days, no, or more impeding on your right. But or more selling away your rights, no, or you can't say or heritage in perpetuity. Or more infringing on your rights. Obi say, gold, any diamonds, any oil, the bibiana ye one or ye fat near quack or mortgage, the young can't your crab be a deco, now conquer show no son, how they for in perpetuity. Sani pano okay, but Obi or say there be maintain say to the Chemucheme, because of that, no, may call on the streets for 3 straight days so that you come and account to me, no, or no, impede on your rights. Dr. Bonna. Mama, yes, you people are the reason why book long is an insult. Ka book the second ya de papa. As maybe what connect us your book longer, a insult because some of us are making it look like who book sense and not only common sense. Like you have to switch book sense for common sense. No, you can have both. You can walk and chew gum, Dr. Bonna.
How about government as well? How about the intelligence agencies and also the Ghana Police Service? De-escalating by negotiating with leadership of the group. How about that option?
How do I negotiate with you when you come to me telling me this is your, if you are anyone who has done negotiations, will tell you that you would have, hard, negotiators. They come to the table, they don't really come to the table to negotiate. They come with, a position and you take it or you leave it. And so if they had gone in to say, you know what, we want to demonstrate. These are the options. But if you come in and say, we are coming in for 3 days, we are coming in with private security. As far as I'm concerned, the Ministry of the Interior is the only institution in this country that is mandated to grant private security licenses.
This guy sounds like he's been sent by the government to say these things, man. I'm not playing, man. Bro, listen, if you're trying to hide that you've been sent to do this, you're not doing a good job. Because all of a sudden your tone has changed to one like you deny him. Like you are speaking for the government right now. And that's shameful because like I said, because you're a doctor. And you owe it to the people to give back. Stop this shameful nonsense. Right? People are going to protest. They don't have the right. Remember, you, Adam Bonna, has the same right as the protesters. You don't have a superior right. So if they want to go and protest and you want to go to work, it's their right and it's yours. Your right to go to work does not supersede their right to protest. I hope you're getting that. You or anybody else do not have a superior right to those who want to protest. And in the time, that's why not in the time protest. You have no right to come and tell us or impede on rights. What did I mention? This is shameful. This is shameful. And now let's look at this. Let's look at the actual job that this guy came here to do. Let's look at the actual reason why this interview was called. The host lays the carpet, dresses the bed for Adam Bonna to come and sleep on and do his thing. He asks him the question.
Do you agree to that increasing suspicion that this group is gradually becoming extremist?
Increasing suspicion that this group is gradually becoming extremist. You see what I was telling you? The whole idea is to fix the country as an extremist group amidst all the BS talk of terrorism or whatever it is that they've been peddling in the country. Little and his people, just, with his lying face, couldn't even convince nobody. How come you speak about terrorists and nobody's even faced? Because they're facing worse things than what you're talking about. And by the way, I don't think they believe you, which is sad, because there could be a real terror threat, but because it's coming from you and the way you are manipulating things, nobody believes you. But the thing is that they are trying to fix the country as a terrorist or an extremist group. That's why they started using those terminology about radicalizing and whatnot and whatnot. If Oketichi had made a mistake to suggest that he was interested in power, then they would have pitched him as Yakubu Shekau or somebody, one of those people who wants to move the government and things. And then they would have a legitimate cause to calm down with him with force. The guy says, hey, listen, no, we are coming on the streets to make our case. Unarmed. Now what? Now he says, increasing perception of extremism. Listen, where is the increasing coming from? Who are those people that have the increasing perception? Show us. Because I don't think anybody in Ghana, now that I've seen, has any perception that thinks the country is an extremist group to start with. Let alone an increasing perception. And you said they are gradually becoming. Gradually what? What did they do that made them gradually become an extremist group? And by the way, Mr. Host, I'm asking you, what are the elements of an extremist group? List them and list what Fix the Country stands for, and you show me if you can make any connection. But we see this is what they came to do, to Fix the Country as an extremist group that must be clamped down on. But we see you. I am not part of that group, but I know that they are following a cause that I fully support. And I would wish that every Ghanaian would open their eyes and see what is going on. Because if Fix the Country was a group saying things, and let me say this, I don't support everything that that group puts out. I have my own issues with that organization or whatever you want to call them. Okay? But currently, they are the only voice I hear in the wilderness speaking against this despicable Ejapa nonsense. And so what else can I do but throw my support behind them? And Dr. Adam Bonna, I think you just put yourself on the wrong side of history.
Oh, well, looking at, their statements and what they put out there, yes, I would want to partially agree. But it will be very difficult for Ghana to live with extremists. Looking at who we are, anyone who doesn't understand where we have come from will tell you, they should go and read history. It will be difficult to be an extremist and live in this country. Because the point is that, it is easy to fish out a Ghanaian in the United Kingdom, in US and the rest.
I think you just put yourself on the wrong side of history. Future generations will judge you unkindly. And the Bible says something. It says, when even the fool keeps his silence, it is counted to him as wisdom. So maybe you should have just kept quiet instead of picking up this interview that makes you look like you've been sent out to do a hate job.
I would want to live here. I wouldn't want to go anywhere. So anyone who would want to take me hostage in my country, I'm sure I would have a legitimate right to fight back.
Doctor, it's true that nobody wants a coup situation in Ghana. The citizenry will suffer. But so will the government. So the government should also work to prevent a coup, shouldn't they? If a coup, God forbid, should happen in Ghana right now, it's not just the citizenry that's going to suffer. The government will suffer too. So if the government, if the citizenry is being called on to make concessions, i.e., oh, we don't want a coup to happen, so let's, pull back a bit. Shouldn't the government also say we don't want a coup, so let's look at what we are presenting that is inciting the people to come out on the streets? And so far, I haven't heard the government budge from where they stand regarding selling out our heritage. And Dr. Adam Bonna is not concerned about that.
Kindly let the country campaigners know that they should use legitimate, measures to do whatever demonstration. And I'm believing that the Ghana Police Service, they are supposed to protect us internally in this country. If they allow some of these things to take place, it means that they are largely going to undermine some of us, our freedom to move around freely. You can't say, I want to demonstrate 3 days in a row. I don't think it should happen. No.
My name is Kwasi Anin. I come in peace. I come not to please. This has been GhMixMixx. I'll see you next time.